The Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE in the United States, created through an order signed by new President Donald Trump on 20th January this year, headed by tech billionaire Elon Musk, is generating a lot of controversy as it goes around cutting workforce and cancelling contracts in a bid to reduce federal spending and improve efficiency. It's not just US focusing on government efficiency. 8 years ago, India had kicked off its own version of DOGE. Hello and welcome to ThePrint. This is Maushami Dasgupta, and today I'm going to talk about how India kicked off its own version of DOGE. Though it has not grabbed the headlines, India has been slowly but steadily working on its own version since 2017, driven primarily by the Prime Minister's Office, the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council, and the Finance Ministry. Over a dozen autonomous bodies and institutions which had either outlived their utility or where there was duplication of work have been wound up or merged with the parent ministries and departments. However, unlike the US, the layoffs in India because of this rationalization exercise have been minimal. It's not just shutting or merging of agencies and departments that has been the focus of the government. There is a larger process reform that is underway to improve government functioning, be it scraping of obsolete laws, tweaking of existing rules and regulations, or bringing in new ones like the drone rules in 2021 to make the certification process for flying drones easier. It all started in 2017 with the report of the Committee for the Review of Autonomous Bodies, headed by former Finance Secretary Ratan Watal, who was then a principal advisor in the federal think tank Niti Aayog. The Watal Committee had reviewed the working of 679 autonomous bodies under different ministries and departments and recommended rationalizing a third of them by way of merger with other institutions or shutting them down where such bodies had outlived their utility. The idea behind the exercise was to trim the flab in government and use public money with greater efficiency. Monitored by the PMO, action started on the Watal Committee report soon. In 2018, the Cabinet approved shutting down the Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi and Jansankhya Sthirta Kosh. Their functions were vested under the Department of Health and Family Welfare. In 2020, the All India Handloom Board and the All India Handicrafts Board, both advisory bodies under the Textile Ministry, were dissolved. In 2022, the Tariff Commission was shut down. Set up in 1951, its job was to suggest changes in duties of any goods and action in relation to dumping of goods. In 2021 and 2022, several agencies under the Railways Ministry were closed. These included the Indian Railways Organization of Alternative Fuel, Indian Railway Stations Development Corporation, Central Organization for Modernization of Workshops, and the Special Railway Establishment for Strategic Technology and Holistic Advancement. While the rationalization of autonomous bodies was recommended by the Watal Committee, it was Sanjeev Sanyal, member of the Prime Minister Economic Advisory Council, who, as Principal Economic Advisor to the Finance Minister between 2017 and 2022, recommended the closure of the railway institutions as well as some of the other agencies. Sanyal told ThePrint that most of these agencies had either become redundant and failed to serve the purpose for which they were set up in the first place, or there was a lot of duplication involved. All in all, it was a waste of public funds. Sanyal cited the instance of the Tariff Commission that was dissolved in 2022. He said that the Commission had no role whatsoever to play in our tariff setting system because the tariff setting is done between the Commerce and the Finance Ministries, but it was occupying 2 floors in the Lok Nayak building in central Delhi and close to 100 people were working there. People were under the impression that it had something to do with tariffs, but it didn't. The Commission was set up in 1951 in a pre-liberalized era to advise the government on measures to protect the domestic industry and had become redundant now. However, the 100 staff working there were not laid off. Most employees have been reallocated in the government. A senior government official said that in the Tariff Commission, maybe some 10 people lost their jobs, but by and large, most of them were reallocated in other departments because government work was expanding. Besides shutting down autonomous bodies, several other public funded institutions have also been merged since then. Some of them, like the decision to merge the Children's Film Society India, the Films Division, the Directorate of Film Festivals, and the National Film Archive of India, were merged with the National Film Development Corporation. The decision came under a lot of flack from artists, filmmakers, and civil society. Watal said his panel's mandate was to look at trusts, autonomous bodies, and societies that were government funded. He told ThePrint that the governance structures in many of these institutions was very weak. There was no accountability. The committee had reviewed the functioning of 679 autonomous bodies across 68 ministries and departments. The total outlay of these bodies in the 2017-18 budget was to the tune of over 77,000 crore. Watal said the autonomous bodies may have been created for a purpose, but over a period of time had become dated. The committee in its report said that if the budget allocated to it was not spent for the purpose it was given for, the body be closed down or merged or re-looked at. The Watal Committee had in fact been set up on the recommendation of another committee set up by the Modi government in September 2014, soon after it came to power at the centre. Called the Expenditure Management Commission, it was headed by former Reserve Bank of India Governor Bimal Jalan and was tasked, among other things, with review of major areas of central government expenditure and suggesting ways to create fiscal space to meet development expenditure without compromising on the commitment to fiscal discipline. In its report, the Commission had pushed for periodic review of the working of autonomous bodies with a view to examine the scope of their mergers, disengagement, closure, or corporatization. Senior government officials said that such reforms take a long time. They said that it is very difficult to close government bodies and institutions as they have a lot of staff and are sitting in huge spaces. But the good thing is that a start has been made. Officials said that in India, the government was not laying off people like in the US. On the contrary, the government has been on a hiring spree. The Department of Personnel and Training recruited 7 to 8 lakh people in the last 2.5 years because the vacancies in the government were very high. Sanjeev Sanyal said India was going about being efficient in a different manner than the US DOGE. The US, he said, have gone for a blitzkrieg, charging through. The shutting of US aid, for instance, is a big thing, he said. But they are also going to get into other problems, like they will have a large number of legal cases. A lot of opposition will come. When you are doing so many things, some will go wrong. It will have unintended consequences, he said. On the other hand, in India, our system is slower, but we are getting results. Sanyal said that we have undertaken lots of such reforms and we have gathered a lot of experience by doing this. So we can accelerate it now. That's all for now. Thank you.